Okay. I think we're good now. So I turn this up a little bit. I think we're good now. I wonder if the mic will change because that'll be pretty interesting. All right, I think we're gonna get started here in a minute or two because this is a very, very serious stream and this has escalated pretty quickly. Unfortunately, we're dealing with something pretty major here in the Gulf of Mexico. Make sure I'm not lagging. Make sure I'm not lagging. Okay, I don't think we are lagging. Oh boy. I am pretty nervous for the people that are in Tampa right now. So if you're now just tuning in, we are going to be talking about well, our topic's going to be about Hurricane Milton right now, but we're going to discuss about other things before we get into Milton. So this is the reason why I'm going live, because it's not looking good. Like this Milton is it's already like a hurricane right now. Yeah, it's a hurricane. It's category 1. It's going to reach category 2 status probably either at midnight or tomorrow night at midnight, or it could, or we could see this occur in 3 to 4 hours due to rapid intensification that's occurring with this hurricane. It's doing it pretty fast too, because it's absorbing the warm waters in the Gulf of Mexico. The waters are on fire right now, and there's a good chance that this is going to become it's a high chance that this is going to be a major hurricane. And this is something we gotta be prepared for if you're in Tampa. So let's look at the other storms before we dive into Milton. So here we got Hurricane Kirk. It's a category 1 right now. It used to be a pretty insane storm, but now it's just weakening out because it's interacting with the colder waters and the jet stream, which is basically going to slowly kill the storm, but it's not going to entirely remove it. It's definitely going to go ahead and hit Europe on the way and cause its own problems there. And then we do have Leslie down there, which is right now a hurricane, but it's just going to be a normal fish storm. I don't see this really becoming a problem with that as well. So Leslie and Kirk are not the important storms right now, but we're focused on Milton. So let's go to Milton. If you're now just tuning in, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, because right now this is a very serious stream. When I am very serious about a stream like this, I mean, you gotta be serious because if you live in like Tampa right now, we expect a major hurricane to hit Tampa, Florida, and it's not looking good because this is a very populated area that's going to get hit by this, and a lot of people live there. It's not good. So here it is right now. This is at 7 p.m. Sunday, and there's our X over here. Definitely going to, it's going to probably pull an eastward. It's going to pull eastward. and then it's going to go northeast a little bit while it's a major hurricane status. We already have tropical storm warnings out there, and maybe some hurricane watches definitely in the play here. But I would not be surprised if we see some hurricane warnings with this in northern. I think it's the peninsula of Mexico. I'm going to call it the northern. I'm going to call this the peninsula of Mexico right here. There's warnings and watches issued for that area. They're definitely going to experience maybe some winds and maybe some big waves as well. But it's going to miss it. It's going to miss that area, and it's going to move northeast, and then it's going to make landfall towards Tampa right over there, which is not good at all. I do think this storm is going to become, it's also going to probably cause catastrophic damage. It's probably what's going to happen here. So this is unfortunate. Hopefully people are well prepared. They're already issuing evacuation plans for the city, which is probably the biggest evacuation plan in Florida's history since Irma. There's going to be a lot of people leaving. Hopefully all of them get out before it's too late. And I've seen videos of the damage that Helene caused, and those same areas are going to get affected again by Milton if it were to be a catastrophic major hurricane in play. Hopefully this downtrends and we don't see this we don't see a major hurricane making landfall. There is actually some signs of it weakening out before it makes landfall, which I'm going to show you guys in just a second. So definitely going to talk about that. Right now this is what the cone path looks like. The cone path doesn't really, just because it's a path doesn't mean it's going to go to the center. These two lines just depend on where it's going to go. Like this can make landfall up here where Helene was at, or it can make landfall over here where, where Naples is at or something like that. It'll still cause problems either way. It's still going to do some really bad damage. Homes are going to get destroyed by the storm surge. Definitely going to cause its problems there. The worst case scenario is that it makes landfall somewhere in Tampa, which is a big city, and we could see skyscrapers kind of get damaged there, here and there. But hopefully that misses Tampa and goes to the north or the south. I think the south, it definitely, hopefully goes south. That's the best case scenario for the residents of Tampa. They'll definitely get a miss from that. But if it goes north, it's going to cause problems because of the storm surge. The storm surge is definitely going to bring in a lot of water. Clearwater Beach is under the gun. Definitely going to get flooded if the storm surge were to occur, or if this were to make landfall somewhere up here, or in the middle of Tampa. Definitely going to cause problems there. So Hurricane Milton is going to really become an issue here. So here's our tropical force storm winds, and yeah, this is wide. It's really wide. It's expected to get bigger as time goes on. Like on Tuesday, the wind field, the tropical storm wind field is definitely going to be huge. Probably stretches to Cuba all the way into Alabama, which is it's pretty big, and it covers almost the entire state of Florida, which almost everyone in Florida is going to experience incredible winds or tropical storm winds, which is not good at all. The Bahamas are also going to experience tropical storm force winds as well. Definitely want to, hopefully this doesn't really hit the Bahamas at all. And yeah, this goes through like 4 different states as well. And the main area of wind is definitely going to be around here, somewhere around here, which is unfortunate. We don't have our storm surge or how high the storm surge is going to be, but we'll get an update on that later. Here's our rainfall total. We already have like 8 to 12. It's in between like 8 to 12 inches of rain. So in the Tampa area, But I would not be surprised if this uptrend's a little bit higher, like maybe like 12 inches of rain or over. But I don't see this being like where Helene was with all that catastrophic rainfall. So that could be good news, but still, it's still going to cause problems. 8 to 12 inches of rain is going to cause flooding, and a lot of roads are going to be covered in water. So if you're out driving, turn around, don't drown. Stay off the roads and go to higher ground immediately if you're under a flash flood warning or even an emergency. Flash flood emergencies are definitely need to be taken seriously. The most casualties out of a hurricane is storm surge and flash flooding, which can cause like a lot of people to not like make it out alive. So here's our, oh yeah, that's another graph of the tropical storm force winds. Definitely gives us an example. Right now it doesn't show it, like, it does show an example a little bit, but we'll probably get more updates on this tomorrow or Tuesday. Hopefully we don't see that. Hopefully we don't. So this is our rainfall risk. We do have a moderate risk of rainfall over here in Florida. And we do have a moderate risk of rainfall in Miami too. So they're also going to experience some flooding down there. Probably from Milton. Milton is going to cause some flooding in the city. I would not be surprised to see a high risk in play somewhere around day 3 or somewhere around day 3, day 4. Definitely a high risk is in play here because of how much rain is gonna pour in the same areas. So definitely wouldn't rule that out, or I wouldn't rule it out. So like I said, well, what the heck? Continue. So I think this is our storm surge areas, and you can see we got some reds there. That's really not good. Greater than 9 feet is expected. This is what the storm surge was going to look like when Milton makes landfall here. Clearwater, if you look at Clearwater, the entire area, the beach side of Clearwater is all underwater, almost the entire beach, which is not good at all. Tampa, the city might also experience some flooding as well. And also over here too, which is an unfortunate situation. The storm surge would probably also spread out towards like down here as well, which is also going to cause some flooding somewhere in there. All right. But yeah, 9 feet or over is expected. We'll definitely keep an eye out just in case we do need to go live again for this. So yeah. Here it is right here. That's our storm. It's like the center. All right, let's look at the GFS. Let's look at the GFS real quick. So here's our storm right here. Definitely going to cause its own problems. Here it is right here. So, sorry about that. So yeah, that's our beginning stages of the storm. So let's go to Tuesday at 3 p.m. like 51Z. Look at that. I'm going to zoom in. Let's zoom in a little closer. Actually, hold on. Let me like go to here. Let's go to the Gulf of Mexico. Look at that. 957 millibar low. That is around a category 3. I'd say around a category 3 major hurricane somewhere right in north of Mexico. And you're definitely going to be, it's definitely going to come towards Florida here as it slowly approaches. You can see it weakening a little bit according to the 18Z GFS. This is 960, still a major hurricane, and it's still pretty bad. You can see it strengthen a little bit at around, it's still a category 3 or something like that. And then here's Wednesday at 9 p.m. or 9 to 10 p.m. As you can see, 954 millibar low, still a major hurricane. It just continues until once it makes landfall, it's definitely going to make a landfall as a category 3 storm. According to the 18Z GFS, it shows it making landfall north of Tampa, which is actually the worst case scenario, because if you're on the right side of this hurricane, like right down here, the storm surge is much higher because the clouds are pushing the water towards the land. which is definitely going to cause storm surge problems in the Tampa area, which is absolutely not good. But you can still see the isobar, the black line bars are so connected together because that indicates some powerful winds in there. And then at around like 9, I think this is 9 a.m. on Thursday, it makes landfall. I don't buy it making landfall on Thursday. I think it's going to make landfall somewhere around Wednesday night. GFS shows it making landfall a little bit later. But really, I don't think I'm buying that. I think this is going to make landfall somewhere like around Wednesday night. I'd say this timing right here, like around 6 to 9 p.m. I'd say it's going to make landfall at that time. So I think that's what's going to happen here. Definitely a very big concern. All right, let's look at the 12Z. If you're now just tuning in, we are talking about Hurricane Milton right now, and if you need, and make sure to leave a like so we can spread this stream out. Hopefully, share the stream so that way we can alert more people out there that are not aware of this upcoming storm that's about to make landfall in Tampa or somewhere around Tampa. Oh my God! So I looked at this is the 12Z GFS. And unfortunately, it shows it a little bit more stronger, like a 948 millibar low. That's like around a high in category 3, maybe a low in category 4. It's somewhere around there. My goodness. And it shows it like really close to Tampa too, which is absolutely the worst case scenario here. Oh man. Absolutely not good. I do hope these people are preparing. I hope they are. They are ordering evacuations. That should be a good sign. So here, the 06 GFS shows it making landfall somewhere around Wednesday morning, which I actually think this is pretty accurate. It's a little accurate, I'd say. But then it got it showing directly making landfall in the Tampa Bay area. Like, look at that, right on top of the city here. St. Petersburg, I think that's how you say it. St. Petersburg is also in the path. Clearwater Beach, definitely getting hit by this storm. The 3 major cities getting hit by this, which will result in very bad damage. I would not be surprised to see like power outages as well in the Tampa Bay area. Man, just look at that. And even after it makes landfall, it still shows it at a category 3, close to like Orlando. Like you can see it, Orlando getting like hit by the strongest part of the storm, and then it weakens a lot as it goes into land on Thursday or Wednesday night on top of Orlando as a category 1, and then it goes away and then goes back into the Atlantic. It goes into the Atlantic Ocean, moving east, but then it just dies out because I think the waters are starting to cool off a little bit because we're entering into winter, so that's going to cool off the ocean waters, which is good news. It'll probably end hurricane season, but I think we are at peak right now. I think this is the time where we're going to experience like the peak of it. So hopefully we don't see any more storms after Milton. But hopefully November, the hurricane season just dies off and we don't see any more. This year is definitely going to be to remember at this point. It's definitely going to be remembered. All right, let's look at our European model here. Here's our 12Z. European still, like it's showing the same case, the same scenario with the GFS, but a little bit weaker. But then you got like it weakening out a little bit while it's starting to make landfall in Florida. The reason why some models are showing it weakening a little bit out before it makes landfall is because of the wind shear that's interacting with. So the wind shear is either going to kill it slowly or the wind shear is going to be a little too late and this storm still intensifies into like a catastrophic or a much more stronger hurricane, which that would not be good either way. But man, that is just absolutely not good. The European is agreeing with the GFS a little bit. Let's look at our wind. Let's look at our winds here. Let's go to our 18Z here. Oh man, you got a closed eye on this thing. Yeah, look at that, a closed eye. And you can see the wind. You can see that the wind field does stretch out a little bit more towards like Tampa. So you can see like you got 90 knots, 80 knots right around here. Unfortunately. So I'm just rebooting the stream. Anyways, yeah. Hopefully the wind shear will kill it off, because it's gonna interact with it. Hopefully it comes in a little bit to try to destroy it, but at this point it's gonna be a little too late. It's still gonna make impacts either way. So definitely would be weather aware if you live in Florida or Tampa, Florida, or Orlando. Orlando also needs to be aware, but I don't think it's going to be that bad in Orlando. I think it's just going to be like a category like 1 hurricane or something like that. We also could see like QLCS, not QLCS, what am I saying? Actually, let's go participation. Let's look at our let's look at this area right here, because we could see a tornado threat increase with this. This one's not as favorable though. Let's go up here, see if there's any like signs. I mean, there is some curvature in the photograph there. We could see maybe a tornado threat come out of this. Definitely wouldn't rule out a few tornadoes here and there. Let's go back a little bit. All right, let's go over here, because usually the eastern bands are the tornado producers in this. Maybe the northern area could do the same thing. Okay, that's terrible. The northern side can also produce tornadoes, but it's kind of rare. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This hurricane, I have a bad feeling about this hurricane. I really do. All right, let's look at our let's look at our severe weather. We're also going to talk about the risk for Milton as well. So here we go. We have our day 1. We had a little isolated severe weather threat occur in the Northeast, Pennsylvania, New York. There used to be a slight risk, but now it's just downtrended a little bit. All of this is just marginal. It's nothing too big. Still got a tornado threat. I think there was a tornado that occurred in somewhere in Pennsylvania, which at this time of the year for them, it's kind of rare. October tornadoes in Pennsylvania, something I don't talk about. And here's our day 2, TSTM risk, nothing too crazy. But if you take a look at day 3, we have a marginal risk of severe weather occurring around Florida, which is associated with Milton. The main concern is going to be tornadoes. Definitely going to be the main concern. Wouldn't rule out a slight risk, maybe for Wednesday. I wouldn't rule that out. But I feel like for Tuesday, it's definitely going to stay as a marginal risk. It's probably going to be like a late night type threat for Tuesday. But for Wednesday, I do expect it to become like a slight risk in play, probably a 5% tort threat, definitely getting issued here. If confidence also increases, maybe a 10% non-hashed, but that's way out of the question, and it's far out, so things can easily change. And as you can see, the Storm Prediction Center is talking about Milton, so there is some confidence that we could see Wednesday become a slight risk of tornadoes. So yeah, that's pretty much what it shows for now. Yeah. All right, let's look at tropical tidbits. I know this is going to lag my stream a little bit, but I really don't care. Hurricane Milton. I don't want to see that. No, I don't want to see that. It's going to lag. Let's look at our forecast models. Let's look at our, where's our HAFSA model? Here it is. Let's look at Milton. So here's Milton. So if we go to like 105 hours out, I think that's where we go. I think this is where, no, this is past. Okay, let's go to 66 hours. $66 hours out. Wow, it shows it much more aggressive, and I think this is around the Gulf of Mexico. I'd say this is around Wednesday. This is around category 5 or something. Category 4, category 5. I think this is around category 5. And then you can show it's weakening out a little bit because it's interacting with maybe the wind shear. But it still shows it as a category 3, making landfall in Tampa, which is absolutely not good. Storm surge is also possible around like Bradenton, Sarasota, St. Petersburg. Those cities getting impacted by incredible storm surge and stuff like that. So yeah, that's absolutely not good. I feel like this could go to like a category 4 status, honestly. I wouldn't rule that out. Category 5, I don't know. I really don't know if it's going to be a category 5. Let's look at our HAFSB model. And still, I think it shows the same thing with the HAFSA. It shows it as a category 3 and then makes landfall at that intensity. And it still like shows it weakening out a little bit slower. It shows it's still at a category 1-ish and then just dies out completely and then goes into a tropical storm. Yeah, this, but it shows it doesn't show it as like, actually, hold on one second. It actually shows it as a possible category 5 storm, but then it weakens out due to the amount of wind shear that's in play for this hurricane. So yeah, that's what the HAFSB model looks like. But right now, the look of it right now it shows it convecting out a lot. So we're definitely going to see insane rapid intensification with this storm. Unfortunately, in play for this. What about the HMON model? Oh my God. I'm not buying that. That is not what it's going to be. What the heck? 915. Yeah, that's not going to happen at all. Definitely something to keep an eye out on. 955. Okay. So I did discuss this. I did say this was going to be a rainmaker, but then I just realized, okay, this went to 0 to 100 real fast. This went to 0 to 100. My God, that's crazy. If the HMON is right on this, if it's correct, we could see a category 5. There's a 50-50 chance of a category 5 occurring due to how warm the waters are. And hopefully the wind shear and the waters that Helene sucked up can weaken the storm a little bit. But man, that's not good. All right. I think that's enough live streaming for today. I think I'm gonna probably need to prepare for tomorrow or the next day. See if I can go live again. So I'm about to end the stream here. If you're just now tuning in, I'm about to end the stream. I already kind of talked about Milton and what it's going to do. We don't know we don't really necessarily know the confirmed storm surge and how high it's going to be for this particular storm, but we'll probably get an update here in the next day or two, depending on what happens. So I already discussed about the storm if you just tuned in, but this is just a brief live stream update on this particular storm. It's nothing too crazy. Before I go, I'm keeping my thoughts and prayers for those who live in Tampa. Hopefully they don't get the worst case scenario and get like a category 4 storm to hit them. Hopefully it weakens before it gets to Tampa. So that would be a better case scenario for them. Hopefully it downtrends to like a category 1 or 2, but it's not looking that like it, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm gonna stop streaming. I'm tired. Hopefully this provides an update to the residents in Tampa. Anyways.